All right, everybody, the hot market is back. My top stock from last night's watch list is up 140% today on LVWR. You know, the number one sign that a hot market is coming back, or that it is back, is that we're seeing continuation. We're seeing day two, multi-day moves. And so now is when we start to get really excited. I'm going to break down what's working right now. Of course, the changes that I made last week. Of course, still carrying over into this week. Of course, talking more about adapting and how I'm able to capitalize in this market to prevent myself from getting faked out or, whatever's been happening lately where I've just been leaking profits. And now the big thing for today I want to talk about is just being patient, waiting for pullbacks, not chasing a move that's not your move. Now, today was a great example of that. Got a lot of good stuff today. I don't have any losses today. Got a lot of break-even trades though, and a lot of nice big wins too. So a lot to break into in this video, and again, a lot for you to take into the rest of this week in your own trading to hopefully level you up as a trader too. Now, today was awesome. I had a really good time trading today. Finally, have some really good action. Again, liquidity was flooding out there in the market, opportunities everywhere. And so overall, it was just a really, really fun session. And if there's one thing I love about trading, it's having a good, fun session. Having a session that we actually get follow through and we actually have some liquidity out there to actually trade. We have some opportunities. And ultimately, those days where you just don't have follow through, I don't care how green I am, it's just not fun and I don't enjoy it. I like having a good fun day. I like having fun. I've been doing this for too long now to have stressful days. Man, today was fun. And so what's working right now? Again, not punching micro pullbacks, not punching the first 1 minute pullback, but looking for nice steep pullbacks, watching for big retracements, take pullbacks and trend for the next leg higher. That worked twice today, trading both BIYA and LVWR. Both of my top stocks going into the open today in the live stream worked out to a T. So now BIYA, and again, there's only two stocks that you should be watching into the bell today. EDBL was gross, by the way. This popped up early. It hit the scanner early with Walmart news. And this thing was a mess after open. Look at this. It halts up at 838, resumes straight halt down in absolute disaster. Can you imagine the bag holders on this? And so obviously this one wasn't on the list after open. Anyways, BIYA, I want to start here. We'll move on. We'll save the best for last. We had some action pre-market. It really wasn't the hottest thing out there. It was a little bit choppy. And I remember it back from last Monday too, where it had that big move last week and then it tried to curl again Wednesday and it failed to curl. So I was sort of hesitant to trade this. And then going into open, we have this big move to the upside. It tests 330, then it gives it all back. Then after open, it goes rocketing again. So I was a bit hesitant to take it there too. I ended up trading it, obviously. But, if you look back, for example, at last week's price action, and we see it made the big move here. Was it last Monday or something? I don't even know what day it was. I think it was Monday. Anyways, and then it sells off. It tries to curl down here, and it gives it all back. And, it's just, for me, it sort of put me off a little bit. And so going into today, right, I want to make sure it's actually going to make a move. I don't want it to just give back. And so that's why I sort of hesitate to take it here for a good reason. And of course, hesitate to take it here. Now, it ends up making a big move and it gets over these past highs. From there, I start to actually find this pretty interesting. And so, if this was June, I'd probably get aggressive and punch the break at this high or punch it here or, and sure, it would have worked in this case. But it hasn't been working this month. The market's not hot enough. I try to punch it. All of a sudden, the bid drops. I'm getting stuck in the highs pretty much. I'm taking paper cuts. And ultimately, it's not where I'm making most of the money this month. And so I had to reconfigure myself. Last week, I got back and I adapted Tuesday. I reviewed what am I not going to do anymore this month. I stopped doing it. I started doing what I know works. And here we are. We're back to the basics, making money. And so I'm like, all right, we got to watch for an actual pullback, wait for it to actually put in place a nice range, wait for it to confirm a bottom. That's exactly what I did. My classic entry, I do this just about every day this happens. I'm taking it every single time. So we're over pre-market highs. We make this big move. I'm watching for it to actually start to pull back. And we get the first pullback. It pulls back and retests this previous low. I punch it there and I get an easy little move. Short-lived, but I get a little trade out of this range. 372 back to 389. Not bad. Nothing crazy. Not bad. Nothing, it's not really going to make or break my day, And anyways, we break down beneath and we knife off the highs. We knife off the highs. Of course, from here, everybody's getting stopped out beneath that low, which for me is interesting because now I want to see, is it going to start to find a buyer again? Now back off the 9 EMA, and it tries to break lower here too. Look at this. It tries to break lower, and that's where I take it. I take it looking to risk off of this past high from pre-market, and so again, I get a literal bottom tick. I bottom tick it at 355, and I'm looking to risk no more than about 15 cents, 15, 20 cents for the next leg, right, for the previous high of the day. Now, I say risk 15, 20 cents. There's no way I would have risked more than 10 cents on this. You know, it would have invalidated well before. And so, in any case, I take it there at 355. It starts to curl, right? It curls back to about 370. It sort of hesitates, and so I say, well, let me wait for confirmation. And so I take a small win here. And as it pulls back again to retest this low. And what happens? It puts in place this other bottom, right? So it starts to get bought back up again. And as it starts to pull back away, that's where I take my entry, right? And so I take it again at 362, risking that previous low. Now I have this nice defined low. And so on this trade, again, I'm in at 362, risking 355. I get less than 10 cents of risk. And ultimately, I get this here from 362 to 370. And what do I do there? I get down to a quarter sold here. I sell a quarter. As we move up into the previous highs, I get down to a half left, and so on and so forth. So I'm just trimming into these past highs. And so for one, I sell some here to make sure this is at least guaranteed profit. Again, stop loss gets raised too as it begins to break out back higher on volume. And then it's just a matter of just trailing stops. And so we retest the highs. I want to make sure it follows through and doesn't reject. And so as we then break out of this next candle, stop loss gets raised to the next candle's low. And I had a quarter left at 395. I had runners left over 4. So that was good. Again, risk was, gosh, I didn't have much. You know, like I said, I had about 8 cents of risk, and then I get a move here from, 361 to about 409. So about a 50-cent move. Pull back again. What do? We try and do the same thing. We bottom off the 9 EMA, puts in place the big wick here. It tries to do it again. It pulls back to retest. Again, as it starts to get bought back up, you see it puts in place this bottoming wick. Same exact story. That is my risk at 374. My entry was 384, so 10 cents of risk again for the possible next leg back over 430. I got to move from 384 back to 399. I wanted to break a 4. It couldn't do it. Had a quarter left here, sold the rest back towards my entry as it rejected back off the highs, and that was it. But again, super happy with this. At this point, I had 1, 2, 3, 4 wins on this. I was going 4 for 4 like Wendy's, and I was happy. Now, here's the thing. We'll come back to this. There's a couple more trades later for us to dive into. While this was happening, though, we also had LVWR, my top stock for today, also going. So I was getting a little bit irritated. I was like, man, we've got 2 things happening at once. Which one do I try and trade? Well, I'm already making money at BIYA at this point. So, I was focused on that. I don't want to stop trading what I'm making money on to go trade something else. It's probably the last thing I'd want to do. And so, anyways, I missed the perfect entry here. Would have been awesome, but it is what it is. This thing ends up running about $1 a share, and I missed this whole first leg, and I'm a little bit irritated because I'm like, well, I can't trade 2 things at once, and from there, I've got to be grounded and say, look, I did the right thing. I focused on the one stock, I made money on it. I can't do 2 things at once. Now, this would have been awesome. I would have loved to have caught it here, but like I said, it is what it is. So it gets legging up. Can't trade it through here. I tell myself I'm not chasing it because I'm, of course, trading BIYA at the same time. And so finally, we get some actual pullbacks. You can see we pull back off the highs, and I'm able to take it off the 9 EMA. I punch this one, I'm break even on this one, pulls back again. I take it one more time for the next leg, and what do? 304 entry, risking 290. So 14 cents of risk. Of course, you can see here I get a quarter sold at 314 from 304. So I sell a quarter up 10 cents a share. Got a half left at 322. Of course, by then it's guaranteed profit. And then I get a quarter left at 339 over the high of day, get my stop loss raised. Of course, it breaks down, or then take a full exit. I'm happy with it, though. So that was good. At least able to catch something on this, about a 20 cent, or not 20 cent, about 20% move. What was it, 304 to 340 something? So about 15%. And then I try to take these pullbacks back over VWAP, and it's so choppy. You can see here, break even, really tiny little win. Every time it tries to curl, it puts in place these big wicks on both sides, and it's just so choppy. I say, no, let's just leave this alone before I go get trapped on it. Try to take the breakout here. Again, very tiny win. So I didn't really do anything else on this. After the front side was done, this thing was choppy. I left it alone. At least made a good chunk of change on it. Again, 304 back to the 340s was good. And that's really all I could do on that. Back to BIYA, though. This ended up giving me another nice trade a little bit later in the morning, where I didn't like it through here because this also, after the front side was done, was all choppy through here, so I couldn't play it. And I also noticed, too, that we have this big topping tail. I know I'm going kind of fast. We have a lot to talk about, though. Puts in place this big topping tail here as it tries to break out, which is an area of supply, right? So it forms this area of supply over 360 underneath 390. So I know this has to first break over the past high, and if it does, I can look for pullbacks. Well, it does something really interesting that I want to make sure we talk about too, and I think a lot of people get faked out doing this. It makes a new high, and well, you can see here what happens. It grabs liquidity over this past high. This becomes also an area of supply, and so when you have this manipulation over a past high like this, I can't just take a pullback. I cannot just take a pullback. I've got to wait for it to grab liquidity. When it then grabs liquidity, then I can confirm that that bottom is in. Until then, this is a massive reversal indication. This is a massive, look, this is a no-go. When you see this, this is a no-go. You don't want to go trade pullbacks after a big topping tail rejection. And so it pulls back. Of course, I don't trade it through here. I wait for it to try to grab liquidity here, which it does. It breaks beneath these lows and tries to grab. I try to punch it here for the squeeze back over the highs. Clearly, it doesn't want it to go. And so what do? I just take a break-even trade. But what ends up happening, again, I want to see it grab liquidity again, and I want to try it again. Well, it does. It does. We have this past high here that was supply. Well, it comes down to retest that same zone, right? And this becomes, look at this. It wicks out of that zone, grabbing liquidity. It confirms this area of supply has now become an area of demand. And so from there, I take it, risking the bottom of the previous candle. You can see here I'm in at 381, risking 370. And so again, I've got less than 10 cents of risk. This thing, again, risk reward was spot on. I get a quarter sold up towards 390. Of course, makes sense, make it risk-free. And then, of course, as we track higher, had a half left up here underneath 4. And then, of course, I had a quarter left at 4, was this 414, 415? On the possible breakout higher, as you can see, it fails to continue, and so I just take the rest out, and that was that. So that was BIYA, LVWR. That's really all I traded today. Overall, ended up being a pretty good day. BIYA was nice, and of course, LVWR from last night's watch list also really nice too. If you watched the watch list video, hopefully you caught it today. This thing ended up being really nice. I wish I could have traded two things at once. I wish I had 4 eyes and 4 arms. Unfortunately, I do not, but I still caught at least a piece of both. I'm looking forward to the rest of the week. Again, like I said, hot market's back. You should be all excited for this. I know I am, as we start to get back into, hopefully, a hot market into August. Kids are going back to school. You're all getting back into the market. Vacations are ending. So always a really exciting thing. So hopefully you had an awesome day today. Let me know in the comments below how you did today, and if you caught any of these. And if you've made any mistakes, let me know too. I want to see the mistakes you make. Hold yourself accountable. Use my comment section as your diary, as your journal. Hold yourself accountable. That's the best way to learn. And of course, as always, to trade alongside me on stocks just like these every single day in real time, make sure to go lock in your 7-day free trial in the description down below. And of course, if you did learn a thing or two as well, make sure to subscribe for daily content just like this. And as always, I'll catch you back here tomorrow afternoon for the recap, or in the morning in the live stream in that 7-day free trial.